This Florida case is getting very interesting very fast. We have all the new deets for you right here today on Island Time. Plus, we're going to talk about this right here, a little bit of spam, and why you should be looking out for spam in the days and weeks ahead. Whether you like it or not, you need spam. Let's talk about everything right now on Island Time. Welcome back to all you Islanders. We are glad that you are here, and we are glad to be with you today. We are halfway through the week. There are passengers on Carnival cruise ships, both the Vista and the Horizon, that are halfway through the cruise. They look forward to their cruise for many months, and now they're halfway through it. It's so hard to believe, and it has been almost perfect. It really has. Small bumps in the road, but nothing major. We have all kinds of news for you today. The first thing we're going to announce is that we are going live Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. You and me will be right here. We will discuss all things cruising, experiences, questions about ships, ports, itineraries, anything you want to ask, we talk about. It is a driven show that is driven by you, the subscribers, and our visitors. So please plan to join us Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time. Let's talk about this. There are no cruises left for July on Carnival.com. If you go to Carnival, you select July, you want to go on a July cruise, you want to check your fare, what you paid. Maybe you're eligible for the early saver and you can get onboard credit. No, you're not checking it. It's not there. The Breeze, nope, she's not there. Vista's gone, Horizon's gone, Mardi Gras, they're gone. They are gone, which simply means used to we would be scared. That's what Amanda said today. Oh no, they're all gone. They're canceled. How many times have we been through that? That's not the case. They are gone because they've reached capacity. That's right, 70%, 75% capacity. They're gone. It's good to see. The other news that we've heard, and we're trying to confirm, we heard from 3 of our subscribers today that are cruising right now with Carnival, is that the kind of a birdie is chirping that crew who work on outside decks may be able to take their mask off. I'm trying to confirm whether that was actually implemented today on the Vista and the Horizon. I have not heard back yet, or if it's something that there's a future date in which this will happen. I have not heard yet. I've seen John Hill's videos. The crew did have masks on this morning, but let's wait and see. We're not reporting necessarily that it has happened, but we're reporting that that is what passengers on board both the Vista and the Horizon have been told. So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about Florida, because things are so interesting in Florida. We had an extensive video yesterday on the latest updates of the CDC asking for a stay from Federal Judge Mary Day. They want the conditional sale order to stay in place. They want it to be what it has been for several months. Of course, the state of Florida, Governor DeSantis, doesn't want it. They celebrated a victory. Meanwhile, Judge Mary Day asked the CDC to revisit their policies, revisit what's important to them, and bring it to the judge by July the 18th to see if maybe it was enforceable. The CDC did not go that route. They asked for the stay, and they have appealed. We talked about the appeal yesterday, and so many of you had questions about the appeal, the process, and what is next. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. The case has been appealed. It's going to go to the 11th Circuit. Okay, the 11th Circuit, there are 12 different circuits in the United States. Depending on where you live is where the case will go. And so the 11th Circuit covers Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Those cases, those federal cases in Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. So the appeal is going to be heard by 3 judges, assuming the case is picked up. Yes, you're at the point in our court system where courts do not have to pick up and hear cases. So is it a possibility that this appeal from the CDC and the federal government is not heard by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals? The answer to that is yes, that is a possibility. not necessarily a probability, it is a possibility that this case is never picked up, just as our United States Supreme Court has thousands of appeals every single session, and they choose which cases they pick up and which cases are heard and then decided. So one possibility is that this case is never picked up by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Okay, I don't think necessarily that will happen, but it is a possibility. One thing I will point out too, without getting too far into it, is that the 11th Circuit is a more conservative circuit. Those of you who follow our court system, our political system, you know what that means. So I'm not saying that because they will favor or judge, make a decision for one side or the other, but when you look at court systems and you look at how things work in our country, it is a factor. So I wanted to share that with you as well. The judges of the 11th Circuit hear cases in the courts mostly in their main office in Atlanta, Georgia. Why does Atlanta, Georgia ring a bell with this case? That's where the head of the CDC is. The head of the CDC in their office, their home office, is in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, not saying that that's going to give them a favorable either pickup with the case or ruling. I'm just stating facts. The court can, however, hear cases in different locations, and they do from time to time. Not saying it's going to happen here, but it could. They hear cases occasionally in Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Florida, and Montgomery, Alabama. We'll see where the case is heard if the case is picked up. The cases are only picked up if the circuit court thinks that the federal judge who rolled over the case could have made the wrong decision, could have heard the evidence, heard the witnesses, and not ruled the way they should have ruled. So we'll see if this 11th Circuit Court believes that is true or not. And there's a couple other interesting facts about the court as well. The average time for the 11th Circuit Court to pick up cases, hear cases after an appeal had been made was 3 months, and the average time last year in 2019-2020 for the court to make a decision on a case after an appeal was 9 months. I also bring that in because we think, my mind goes to, oh, they're going to hear this right away. They're going to make a decision right away because this isn't a current issue. It is cruise ships are sailing right now. More cruise ships are scheduled to sail in August and even more in September. And so I would think they would pick it up quick, but when you look at the data, average time is 3 months for a hearing to take place after an appeal is made, and the average time on a decision is 9 months. We'll see what happens. Each party to an appeal submits a brief to the court which outlines the legal arguments that they think the federal judge, which was Judge Merryday in Tampa, didn't get right. The issues that they think that he ruled on and was not in the right court. Judges can make a decision just based solely on briefs. So these judges can ask for the paperwork, testimony, all the evidence that was gathered, that's already been gathered and decided on. They can ask for all that, they can have briefs, and they can go ahead and rule and make their decision. It does happen. It also happens that they get the briefs and they want to speak to the parties involved, and so they ask those parties to come before them for a hearing. Now, in this hearing, this is important, in this hearing, no additional evidence or witnesses can be added to testimony and to the case. So this appeal is just for the decision made by Judge Merryday in Tampa, Florida. It's not going to be a new trial hearing. There's not going to be, for instance, cruise lines, if everything goes as they think it will go these next several weeks, they would want to use evidence and data that says, look, we are cruising and everything is working. This is great. They can't provide that data. There's no new evidence or witnesses in that 11th District or District Court of Appeals. Remember that. This is based on everything that's already happened in Tampa, Florida. and judges can schedule an oral argument, which I believe in this case they probably will. We'll see what happens with it. With the attorneys and the parties involved, of course, they preside. They're there before the judges, the three judges, and the judges will hear what each party has to say, and they will rule accordingly to what they think the best decision is for the case. It's going to be interesting. We have no timetable. There was nothing new today necessarily. I thought maybe the stay would be issued or the stay would be declined from Judge Mary Day in his office. Nothing. The 11th District Court of Appeals, 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, there's nothing. So we sit here, we wait, and we see. But those are the options. The case is never picked up, or the case is picked up, briefs are shared by all parties, a decision is made based on briefs, or the case is picked up, briefs are shared, and the judges ask for oral arguments to be made. That's where we're at. We have no timetable. No timetable on when, but that is exactly where we stand right now. We will, of course, follow along every step of the way. We will share the news with you. If you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. You want to hear this news. This news impacts cruising. It impacts you and your family and your friends. Subscribe, ring the bell notification. That way when we put out content, you are notified. Okay, now let's talk about spam. Spam. I receive spam phone calls almost every day, and you probably do as well. Most of the time, I do not answer spam phone calls, and a lot of times no message is left by whoever's trying to call me. But I had a spam phone call today, and it was someone that I was happy to talk to. I answered the call, and it was someone from Carnival Cruise Lines. A lot of us call this department or this person the Upgrade Ferry. That's right. If you see spam on your phone these next several days and weeks, pick up the phone. I picked up the phone. I said hello. I was ready. I had some time. I was going to make some banter with the person or the robot. But it was someone from Carnival Cruise Lines offering me an upgrade from our Havana interior room, July the 24th, to a Havana Cabana room. The price was fair, I believe, especially for summertime sailing. It was more than I wanted to pay. I tried to go back and forth with the Upgrade Ferry, tried to get them down a little bit on the price. I was unsuccessful at that. We had a great conversation. We eventually hung up the phone, and I was done with spam. But I wanted to share with you today that if you get a phone call and spam displays on your phone, your device, answer the call. It could be the Upgrade Ferry calling you to upgrade your room for your next cruise. I told the Upgrade Ferry, it said you were spam. I was not going to answer your call. Would you have left a voicemail if I would not have answered? She said no, I wouldn't. We're not going to leave a voicemail. I said, would have received an email if I would not have answered. She said no. So I was glad I answered the phone. I had to share that with you. I most definitely like that spam phone call and that Upgrade Ferry a whole lot more than I like spam. Although spam was a staple in our diet growing up. We sliced it up, we fried it in a pan, put some mustard on it in between two pieces of bread, and that was dinner. Answer your spam calls. You might get an upgrade. That's the advice today from Island Time. We can't wait to see you tomorrow, Thursday, for our live show. Plan to be there. We can't wait to be there, and we will talk to you then on Island Time.